Jenna Bush Hager and Hoda Kotb worked alongside each other for years on Today's Fourth Hour. With Kotb's departure from the series, Hager has recently looked back at their time together. Recently, Hager shared just how Kotb protected her in the past. Fans watched Today with Hoda and Jenna from 2019 to 2025. Hager joined the series' Fourth Hour in 2019, making it Today with Hoda and Jenna. At the time, she was taking on the role from Kathie Lee Gifford, who worked with Kotb for 11 years. Kotb herself announced she would be leaving Today back in 2024. Her final day on the show was January 10, 2025. Since then, Hager has been sharing hosting duties with a number of rotating guest hosts. Today co-hosts Hoda Kotb and Jenna Bush Hager. Hager has since shared co-hosting duties with celebrities like Brooke Shields, Andy Cohen, and Tiffany Haddish, in addition to members of her own family. However, she hasn't forgotten her time with Kotb. Recently, Hager appeared on the How She Does It with Karen Finerman podcast, where she revealed how Kotb protected her. As she shared, "In the same way that I didn't envision myself working at the Today Show, I never envisioned Hoda leaving." And in fact, she kept saying, "Don't sign your contract." Hager mused that she originally didn't understand what Kotb meant by this. She continued, "I thought she was saying that so we could link up our contracts and be there until the same time. But what she was doing was protecting me, because she knew I was going to be doing the show on my own." Jenna Bush Hager also touched on questions about who her next permanent co-host could be. Hager also shared her shock at Kotb's previous announcement that she was leaving Today. She shared, "I didn't ever have one inkling of a thought that she was about to say she was leaving. That I know she loved her work and loves her work. So leaving it wasn't something I could wrap my mind around until I sat down with her and heard her reasoning." Kotb's exit allowed the show to become Today with Jenna and Friends. Hager noted, "It was not something I chose. It was a shock and it was a disappointment at the time." For the time being, there is some speculation on who Hager's next permanent host could be. For her part, she shared, "We will eventually have a permanent host, I think, but we don't know, and I'm type A in a weird way. I'm not a perfectionist at all. But I also like planning. I like plans. I like to sort of know how things are gonna go." When Jenna Bush Hager first stepped onto the set of Today's Fourth Hour in 2019, she could scarcely have imagined the journey that awaited her. As the daughter of two-time U.S. President George W. Bush, Jenna had grown up in the public eye and forged a career in education and journalism that demonstrated both her intelligence and her warmth. But joining Today with Hoda and Jenna, alongside veteran co-host Hoda Kotb, marked a bold new chapter in Jenna's professional life. Over the next 6 years, viewers came to know and love the comfortable rapport between the two women, their candid conversations, and their authentic, homespun take on news, lifestyle, and culture. Then, in late 2024, Hoda Kotb dropped a bombshell. She would be leaving Today after nearly a decade on the Fourth Hour desk. Hoda's final show aired on January 10, 2025. Jenna, who had grown accustomed to sharing her daily on-air life with Hoda, suddenly found herself facing a blank page. In recent weeks, Jenna has looked back on her time with Hoda, recalling not only their professional triumphs, but also the sisterly bond that developed behind the cameras. She's also begun to ponder the future. What exactly does this next era hold for Jenna Bush Hager and Today's Fourth Hour? In this in-depth feature, we trace Jenna's journey from her first day on set in 2019 to the emotional farewell of her ride or die co-host. Examine the heartwarming story of how Hoda quietly shielded Jenna from the uncertainties of the television industry, and explore what lies ahead for Jenna as she embarks on life with Jenna and Friends. From guest contributor to on-air partner, Jenna's early days before Jenna Bush Hager became a fixture on Today with Hoda and Jenna She was already a familiar face to Today viewers as a frequent contributor on the show's morning segments, often reporting live from school playgrounds or interviewing students and educators about pressing issues in American schools. An accomplished teacher herself, Jenna brought a genuine passion for education reform and youth empowerment that resonated with families across the nation. In early 2019, when Today producers announced that Kathie Lee Gifford would be stepping down after 11 years as Hoda Kotb's co-anchor, speculation began swirling about who would fill those sizable shoes. Kathie Lee's departure left a gap not only in terms of on-air chemistry, but also in the show's dynamic of heartfelt interviews and lighthearted banter. After a nationwide search, NBC revealed its choice, Jenna Bush Hager. At 37 years old, Jenna became one of the youngest women ever to co-host a major network's morning show. Jenna's inaugural broadcast alongside Hoda aired in April 2019. Fans tuned in with a mix of curiosity and speculation. Would the new duo click? How would Jenna's style mesh with Hoda's seasoned presence? Within minutes, however, it was clear that the chemistry was real. Hoda's warm, motherly energy paired effortlessly with Jenna's youthful optimism and unbridled enthusiasm. Viewers watched as the two laughed at each other's jokes, rearranged their desks into a cozy confessional space, and launched segments on everything from puppy adoption to celebrity interviews, building a sisterhood. On-camera chemistry and behind-the-scenes support what audiences saw on screen. A natural, easygoing friendship was rooted in countless off-camera moments. According to Jenna, the two women spent hours before each show planning their segments, sharing personal anecdotes, and simply getting to know each other as friends rather than colleagues. Hoda, who had co-hosted with Kathie Lee for over a decade, recognized something special in Jenna from day one. "We bonded over being moms, over juggling kids and careers," Jenna recalls. Hoda's daughter, Haley Joy, was born in 2017, and my girls, Mila and Poppy, were 3 and 1 at the time I joined the show. We had this instant understanding of each other's priorities. Early in their partnership, the two created a private WhatsApp group they affectionately dubbed Team 4th Hour. Within that chat, they shared parenting triumphs and frustrations, sent each other photos of their children in potato sacks at school field days, and exchanged voice notes offering pep talks when the day's news seemed overwhelming. Hoda's years of experience anchoring network television served as a perfect complement to Jenna's fresh perspective. Jenna had arrived with an education-focused background, a dramatic flair for live interviewing, and deep knowledge of political and cultural issues. Hoda, meanwhile, had cultivated a style defined by empathy, humor, and a knack for bringing out her guests' humanity. Together, they hammered out a morning show format that blended serious interviews on mental health, culture, and current events with lighthearted lifestyle content, recipes, crafts, and the ever-popular "What We're Loving This Week" segment. Weathering turbulent times, the 4th Hour's role during a global pandemic. Just 1 year into their partnership, Jenna and Hoda faced an unprecedented challenge: the COVID-19 pandemic. As the world shut down in March 2020, Today's 4th Hour scrambled to adapt. Studios closed, audience members disappeared, and segments on baking trends and celebrity gossip felt suddenly irrelevant. Both hosts found themselves reporting from makeshift home studios, Hoda from her New York City apartment and Jenna from her suburban Virginia living room. "I'll never forget the look on Jenna's face the first morning we did the show virtually," Hoda recounts. She had her computer on a stack of books, her kids' Legos scattered everywhere, and a dog barking in the background. But she's such a pro that she never blinked.